Hello. So in this video, I want to talk about the Halloween franchise and why I will never do a ranking of the Halloween movies. Mostly because a good portion of them are trash. I have no love for them whatsoever. And I honestly do not understand why some people like some of these. So let's start at the beginning. My biggest issue with this franchise is that there are too many freaking reboots, too many different timelines. So, back in 1978, they came out with the first one. Then in 1981, they came out with the second. And then at some point, they came out with the third one. And the third one, they were like, yeah, let's do something different with Halloween. That is fine, but the fans at the time didn't like it because Halloween was Michael Myers. He and Jamie Lee Curtis, they were the main two characters. Now, it's going to be very important to remember Halloween and Halloween 2, the originals, as we get later into this video. So then, Halloween 4 came out. And 4, 5, and 6 were kind of a trilogy, coming out, I think, like a year apart from each other. And they had a continuing storyline for the most part. Then there was a big gap. And you finally got Halloween H2O, which kind of retcons the 3 movies before it, but not really. It is said that Jamie Lee Curtis's character died between 2 and 4. And the new person we're following is Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter. Now, coincidentally enough, her character's name, I believe, was Jamie. And I haven't watched all of these in forever because I can't find them on Blu-ray as an entire collection, or I probably would. But I did watch them a lot growing up, at least in my teen years. So I'm very familiar with everything up to Resurrection and the 2 other spin-off movies. I'll talk about what I mean by spin-off movies when I get to the Rob Zombie section. But anyways, it's never shown that Jamie Lee Curtis's character of Laurie actually died. We never see it. So, as far as, everything goes, she could have just been in hiding. And maybe she lost custody of her daughter, which is why she went into hiding. She's like, okay, well, I can't even keep custody of my kid. I need to go get myself together. And she decided she was going to go do that, and she gave her daughter to the people she trusted most, thinking and hoping and praying that Michael would never return. That he was actually dead. And a long time passed, and everybody fell into a false sense of security, like they did with Laurie Strode. Because it took like 15 years. So, Michael lied in wait for 15 years, finally breaks out, goes after Laurie's daughter, ultimately manages to kill her, which is an on-screen death that we see, but she had a child, which is never brought up again. But if they had actually continued the story, it could have. But then we jump up for another few years, and now Laurie is under a new name, working at a college in California, a long way from Haddonfield, and she has a son who's a college student. So, at some point, she got into another relationship, had another kid, kept this one, actually managed to do well for herself, and I mean, the movie kind of sets up that, you know, she's hated the Halloween season, that she's been very uppity, that she's been very protective. So it's not like, you know, this is nothing, you know. This, to me, could fall in line right after 6. But then we find out she has a kid, and Michael Myers returns, and probably what I'd have to say is some of, I think, the best Michael Myers work. Like the way the costume looked, the mask, everything. And then we have the Abomination of Resurrection, which I'll agree, it was stupid. There was so much better stuff they could have done with this franchise. The only good part of that movie is like the first 10-15 minutes where we actually see Laurie Strode die. Michael finally kills her. After that, it's just basically garbage. But then after that, that was it for that franchise. And that, to me, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 H2O and Resurrections, that's the franchise for me. That's my timeline. Other people, I mean, it's not the official timelines, but that is my timeline that I go by. If I'm going to watch, because, you know, when I watch the Halloween movies, I want to marathon a consistent story. Not go, oh, well, first we have to watch 1, 2, H2O, Resurrection. Then we got to watch Halloween again, Halloween 2, then 4, 5, 6 to get the other story. Then watch the 2018 after 1. No, that's retarded. And I will never do it that way. And I actually do like that story about making Myers, you know, related to Laurie Strode was brilliant. It's part of Michael's character. It gave him a reason. Now, just because he's, you know, I don't know what everybody's problem with the Thorn thing was, but just because he's going after his sister or his family members until they're all dead doesn't mean everybody's safe, because everybody who gets in his way to getting her is at risk of being killed. As you saw in Halloween, as you saw in Halloween 2. And this is the problem I have with the current 2018 and what's going to be in the 2021 movie, I'm almost guaranteeing. But I just recently watched, I was naysaying this. I was like, I know this movie's going to suck. Oh, don't get me wrong. It looks really good film-wise. Practical, or maybe even not practical effects, but just the way the camera shows off the details of everything is freaking great. But let me run through a problem I have with the 2018 versus the 78. Now, granted, in 78, they had a lot more rules and constrictions than we currently have nowadays. But Michael Myers did not just go around killing everyone willy-nilly like he did in the 2018 version. No, he broke out of Haddonfield, stalked Jamie Lee Curtis for a good runtime of the movie, followed her to the street where she was babysitting. Now you can sit there and go, well, if he knows where she is, then why didn't he go to that other house? Why did he go there and kill her friends first? Because, first off, why do you need everything explained to you? Why do you need every tiny detail? What's wrong with having a little magic? But, okay, you want every tiny detail explained? Let's look at this. Maybe the Curse of Thorn only works to a certain radius. Oh, you know that the person you're looking for is in another state, city, but you don't know the exact location. You can find them to, like, in Michael's case, he can probably track her magically to a block radius, and he knows, okay, she's somewhere nearby. I sense her nearby. The reason he went there is because of the fact her friends were there, and he saw them go to that street. He did not know which house it was that she was in until she came over to check on her friend. And that's when he was able to find her, and he followed her. And you can't sit there and tell me that the 2018 version, or which is now the current franchise, is so much better, because it completely wipes away the whole mystical aspect, which was delivered to us in the 78 version when Loomis shot him 6 times. So, right there, that completely makes the 2018 version stupid. And this, to me, Michael Myers, in the timeline that I said at the beginning, is a very threatening killer. Yes, mainly to one person, mainly to one group, the Myers family line. But that's just it. Once Michael's done, the Cult of Thorn could do this again to another family, to achieve whatever it is. Like I said, it's been a while since I've watched some of those movies. I forget exactly what the Cult of Thorn was after, but I think they have to do this every so often, maybe every 15 to 20 years, which is why this really ramps up every 15 to 20 years. But watch the 78 version, then go watch the 18 version. Michael just starts killing people left and right just because he comes across them. He literally went from one house to the next house to the next house, just killing people. Why? No fucking reason. Just because they were home. In the first movie, he doesn't do that. He kept following Lori. He basically broke straight out of Haddonfield and went straight for her. And the whole thing about her being his sister was created, or at least brought in, yes, in Halloween 2, but that was something John Carpenter, or at least the people who worked with John Carpenter, because he helped write Halloween 2, they did that. And now you're taking away from their story, which is really dumb. Now, before I go to the break, I just want to quickly tap on Halloween 3. Why I haven't been talking about it. Halloween 3 is basically its own side story. They tried, like I said earlier, to do something new with the franchise, and they failed. It's built up, a following since then, and people are trying to work it in, but it was a good story, but it's not part of the Halloween franchise. Although honestly, you could say that maybe the people that were making the Silver Shamrock mask were jaded cult members of the Thorn. The Cult of Thorn. Maybe those were former members that were kicked out, and so they went and found another power source with making the mask. So that's my thoughts on 3. I think it's interesting, but it's just its own little side story. But we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
The Dunn family sets out to a mysterious location for a family getaway one weekend. However, once they get there, they find more than they bargained for. If you enjoy a terrifying, spooky horror story that will fill you with chills and thrills, then read or listen to this newest short story written by Sean Connaughton, and check out The Mansion.
Alright, thank you so much. I really do hope you guys pick up these ebooks or the audiobooks. The audiobooks are fantastic, in my opinion. They have sound effects, which really bring the story to life for you. And I worked with some really great narrators putting these audiobooks together. And the audiobooks, they're available all year round, but the ebooks are a limited time only. And the paperback is even more limited. The paperbacks will go away at the end of October. You will not be able to pick them up. I do not know if I'll be bringing them back every October, but I might bring them back next October, just so if you want to get it. But once I have enough short stories, my plan is to release a hardback and paperback of a collection which will include all these short stories and maybe a couple new ones for those people who have already read these little ones. But honestly, The Legend of Fort Blood is probably my favorite, followed closely by The Mansion. I mean, I still like The Witch's Hole, and The Legal Murderer was good, but yeah, Fort Blood, I've been thinking about a lot I can do with that moving forward. So, like I said, and like he said, and like she said, definitely go check these out. Some of them are only available for a limited time. The ebooks, the paperbacks, they will be going away. The ebooks will be going away at the end of the year. And they will not be returning until October 1st of next year. The ebooks will definitely return. Paperbacks, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But the audiobooks will be available all year round. So if you are watching this video and it's past the end of October, or it's past the end of 2021, you can still go to Audible or iTunes and pick up the audiobook of those short stories, because I wanted them to be available all year round in the best way possible, and in my opinion, they're best as audiobooks. and they got sound effects. So you don't want to miss out on that. It's like a movie playing in your mind as you listen to it. But moving on. So, I last left off, we were talking about Halloween 2018 and how it sucked. Even one of the characters basically said, oh, so he's just a basic serial killer? Nothing special about that. I mean, that's maybe not exactly his quote, but that's pretty much what he says. He's like, oh, so he's just a serial killer. No big deal. Yeah, it's no big deal. We've had tons of serial killers. Half of them you probably don't even know about. And people were more afraid of Michael Myers than they were of dumbasses like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, you weren't worried. I mean, people were worried if you were a certain group. But Michael, Jason, they targeted anybody who got in their way. Yeah, maybe other real-life serial killers target anybody who gets in their way, but most of the time they have a certain MO. They have a certain type of person they go after. And if you're not that type of person, they're going to probably leave you alone. So, the new timeline, to me, completely sucks. It makes absolutely zero sense. I mean, what the hell is Jamie Lee Curtis, this version of Laurie Strode, and her family? Why are they even in Haddonfield at all? Oh, I had a serious traumatic experience in this town as a kid. You know what? I think I'm going to stay here. I'm going to have a kid. I'm going to have a family. My family's going to be raised in this town, and they're going to be raised their family in this town. Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're moving far the fuck away. But no. Jamie, she's been practicing. She's been getting ready. And a lot of people died. Now, that's the first thing. Removing the whole Cult of Thorn. Removing the whole connection between Michael and Laurie Strode. And basically just turning him into a stupid regular killer. A regular guy. I mean, you got to, at some point, give a viable reason why the hell this fucker won't die. Why burning him, stabbing him, shooting him doesn't work. At least with the Cult of Thorn, with that scenario, you could say, oh, it doesn't work because he's being kept alive supernaturally. And he's got a Wolverine factor healing ability. I mean, okay, maybe not as fast as Wolverine, but pretty damn close. Like, very close. Like, it stops and he's able to keep going. I mean, this dude could probably get... I mean, he's been hit by cars and shit, and he's kept going, so... Now, my problem with the Halloween and Halloween 2 Rob Zombie version... I was completely on board when I saw that Rob Zombie was going to do this, and I was like, yeah, the trailer looks awesome. But then I watched the first one, and oh man, was I pissed. Because not only did they make some very bad decisions, they made Michael have the dumbest backstory. I mean, again, they were making him just too generic. Like, what is wrong with this kid who just snapped one day out of the blue and started killing his family? That, to me, warrants a lot more interest than some kid who just had a bad childhood, who was raised in a shitty home with shitty parents, with a shitty, slutty sister. Basically, trailer trash in the suburbs is the way they framed it. And, Michael was bullied by the school bully. You know what? I was bullied. I didn't go around killing little animals. I didn't go around beating kids to death with tree branches. But no, because, we have to look out for the children and make parents aware of what they're doing to their children. We gotta give every killer the same stupid abused backstory. And it's just retarded. It was getting old at that point because I was seeing it so often. And I was just tired of it. And to not only remove the supernatural element of Michael, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, there are parts of that movie that work really well. Like, I felt really bad when he killed Danny Trejo. That whole aspect of him in the, institution, even when he gets out. Like I said, it's not horrible. What really brought it down for me was the destruction of Michael's past. And I'm so glad it just ended with the second one, that they didn't try to keep going with it, because that second movie got even worse. They tried to redo the actual second movie and they just made it so much worse. So I pretty much avoid those Rob Zombie movies. And I actually like some of his movies. Like, I have all three of, the Devil Rejects trilogy. I have that, and I like it. House of 1,000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects, even the newest one they just came out with. I think it was 2019 or so. I have the other one with the witch. I don't watch it as much. But, yeah. Sherry Moon is very attractive. I wish, like most people, that she wasn't casted in every single thing he has to do. But, I just was not a really big fan of that Halloween movie. I wish he had just left some of it the way it was. In fact, I wish they would leave things the way it is. What is wrong? I mean, why would you want to take away what makes this killer different from the others? Because taking away the whole Cult of Thorn, taking away the whole family aspect of Michael Myers, makes him almost like freaking Jason. Like, every so often he's going to break free and he's going to go back to his hometown. Gee, what happens with Jason? Oh, that's right. He breaks free or wakes up and goes back to Camp Crystal Lake. Or he stalks Camp Crystal Lake. Same damn thing. At least with the whole sister aspect, it doesn't have to stay in Haddonfield. And it wasn't. It was moving. It could go anywhere. Anywhere there was a family member. And we still had Jamie's son. And we still had Laurie Strode's kid. Her other kid. But no. We had to cancel that and just jump right into new shit that made 0 sense. I'm also not a huge fan of erasing timelines. Unless... I'm just not a fan of erasing timelines. Like Terminator Dark Fate. Or pretty much any movie series that now does that. Because everyone's like, oh, well, you know what? I like the first one. I like the second one. But I don't like the third one. So let's just cut it off at 2 and start a whole new line and say, this is what happens. It's like, no, if you're gonna fucking redo it. But redo it right. You know? I would not mind them remaking Halloween exactly the way it was made in 1979. Or 1978. But do it exactly. Pretty much like Rob Zombie did. Just leave out the stupid crap like, you know, him having an abusive childhood. Because that was retarded. Like I said, you could remake Halloween 1978 and Halloween 2, combining those two more or less into one movie, and then have Halloween 2 as it is, but, you know, maybe stretch it out, add in a little more details. Like, you could hint in the first one, you could actually have him say, you know, something about Laurie being the sister and them needing to get to her before Michael does. You could have this whole thing where Michael's already branded with the Cult of Thorn, where we see it in every movie, and it looks like a little witch's hat scar on his wrist. Maybe you even see it on his wrist when he was a kid. So it's like it was in your face the whole time. They could redo the whole Cult of Thorn thing and actually make it work and actually make it acceptable. That was good to me. If you're going back through the series, leave out some of the bad crap, like the whole Myers house thing with Resurrection. That was stupid. After killing Laurie, Michael should have gone after her son. Or he should have gone after Jamie's son, which is Laurie's daughter. But all of this is why I say I won't rank the franchise, because this franchise is all over the fucking place. And it's a goddamn mess. So, as I said at the beginning, and I'll say it one more time, my canonical timeline is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, H2O, and Resurrection. That's my canonical timeline that I accept. Everything else is garbage to me. I will not watch them. I mean, I might watch them, okay? But I'm not going to enjoy them as much as I'm going to enjoy watching this timeline, which works for me. There's no reason this timeline can't. And anything that can't, well, I just overlook it then. I don't know which version. Before you guys go asking in the comments, I've seen like 3 different versions, I think, of 6. So whichever one I see is the one I see. So, yeah. That's my timeline. I'm sorry I will never do a ranking, but I can't rank this franchise when it's all over the place. So, I want to thank you all for watching. I want to wish you a happy Halloween. I have a bunch more videos coming out soon. I hope you guys will return. I hope I didn't lose a ton of you because I don't like some of these. Even though Halloween is actually one of my more favorites. Like, it goes Chucky, Freddy, Michael, and then Jason, in my opinion. Out of my top killers, those 4, that's it. Oh, and then Ghostface, Scream, but that's always a different person, so we don't need to take away. And that seems to be the biggest problem with the world today, is everybody's too busy trying to take away from what works take away people's, what makes them special. Hey, yeah, there you go. The woke people in the audience. Why are you trying to change him? The thorn made him special. Made him unique. Oh, that's why. Because they want both sides. They want to change everything that is not different like them to different like them, so they'll all be the same. Make sense of that. But like I said, I do like Halloween. I do like Michael Myers. I think it's a tragedy what they've done to this franchise. The Cult of Thorn will always be my canonical timeline. I want to wish you all a happy Halloween. If you have not, please subscribe to this channel. Make sure to click that notification bell. And I will talk to you all next time.